definitely like to thank everyone for calling in. We'll get started here in about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, once again, I'd definitely like to thank everyone for calling in. We'll get started here in about 3 to 4 minutes. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for calling in early. We'll get started here in about 2 minutes.
Hello?
Yeah, I got
Hello?
it.
Oh, okay.
I have, yeah, I got it.
His personal bodyguard was the person who delivered the.
I got too much background noise back there.
Q&A session has started. To ask your question, please press *6. The recording has started.
All right, I'd like to definitely thank everyone for calling in. My name is Derek Simmons, I'm the founder of Vision Group. Making sure I got everyone called in here. Some people say they're having a little technical difficulties. You can also go online as well to our YouTube channel and watch it as well, and you can post live on there as well. The link that I sent out to everyone, that's the link. I had people to ask me this week, how can they go back and replay some of the messages? You can go on there, the Vision 101 group. Excuse me. Wow. And you can click on there, and you can watch it live. Now, so if you got any questions that you want to, something that you want to ask, anything like that, and I want everyone to subscribe to the channel as well. So click on that, and just don't go on there and listen to it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well on YouTube. So I want everybody to get used to doing that, and so that way we can keep up with it as well. We can also send you messages that way. So if it's something that you would like to say, and I don't have you punched in, then you just can type it in, and I'll make sure to read the comments that we have on there as well. For my first-time callers, thank you for calling in as well. Just to let you know, it works and operates a little different than what we normally do on Saturdays. So you just can press *6 on your line at any time, and that would allow you to go into queue. And then once you go into queue, I will click on your line, and that will activate your line. So it's not too late to share the call. I always challenge people to, I want to at least share the call to 10 people that you know, your family members, your cousin, your uncle, your boo, whatever. Share the call, let them know. Your co-workers, let them know. Get on this call. It's educational, it's inspirational, inspiration as well, all of those things. So we definitely want you to continue to share the call. Before we go deeply into it, just to let everybody know a couple of announcements that we have here. The Black Wall Street is still going on as well. So for those that want to go and visit that, it's in Village Creek. That's in Fort Worth. It's every Saturday from 9 to 5. So if you have products or something like that you want to go out and sell, go to Village Creek. That's in Fort Worth, Texas. I think 76119, if I'm not mistaken, but it's Village Creek. You can't miss it. It's in the open field there, so you'll be able to check it out. So what I want to do now is bring my co-host in, Dr. Andrea Matthews, for those that don't know her, and let her introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Andrea Matthews. Got my PhD in philosophy with a focus on African American religion. I study the interconnections between religion and art. And I'm just glad to be on this call so that I can stay connected and have these conversations that are non-academic. I totally appreciate it. Thank you, and I'm glad for everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day.
I already got some calls and some inboxes earlier today when they saw the topic. Some people called and asked me and was like, "Are we gonna be able to say what we want to say?" I'm like I told y'all, it's open. Just be respectful that other people's on the line. So if you go a little too long, then I have to just mute you. But yeah, anything is open. We're talking about a topic that's really dear to my heart, because I feel like this is one of the first things we need to do, and I'm always talking about it. And maybe because I got that entrepreneurial spirit on me, talking about black capitalism. And what does that really mean? A lot of times we have to have a working definition or get on the same page of that definition so we can begin to talk about it. So we're going to try to stay on topic as much as we can tonight, talking about black capitalism. I'm going to let you jump us off on that one. So when you hear the word black capitalism, what do you think?
Which black people use their funds to create businesses so they can capitalize on economic growth and prosperity?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I would say. Only thing I guess that's different between it's definitely would be wealth building. What I would want to add to that is just the word capitalism itself is as far as like the economic or political system and how we can buy or trade or sell or anything like that, ownership and all of that. So if we're talking about that, I like to use that word system because it's economically and political system in order to gain your wealth. And that can be carried on through generations or whatever, but it's building this wealth and even ownership. I looked at a video by Claude Anderson, and man, he was talking about some of the wealth building techniques, and it was interesting because he was like, man, we haven't been taught, but that's not an excuse. So just to jump it off, what do you think is the main thing? So we're talking about black capitalism. What do you think is the main thing that we need to know about black capitalism in today's society?
Well, you want to increase your economic power, right? So, that's it. I mean, you're evidently black people, African Americans, have been disproportionately on the low end of growth and wealth in America. And so how as a people do we grow economically, I guess, in a capitalist society? And, now that I'm thinking back, because, business and economics is not my thing, but I do remember taking a course in economics, and, the first thing that pops back into my head is Booker T. Washington, right? This was the whole W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington debate, right? So Booker T. wanted us to invest in black businesses, own, which we were doing, being segregated. And I don't know if black people haven't been taught. I mean, Black Wall Street, there's numerous towns. There's a town, Nicodemus in Kansas. I mean, Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta. We know economics. We know how to capitalize and work in a capitalist society to gain the wealth that we have, in spite of racism and the oppressive structures, economic structures that have tried to hold us back. So we, all of that is true, and we do have models. I mean, we do have models, and these conversations have been going on for years. I mean, even my great-grandfather in Kansas, who was a Mason and known as the Kansas Orator in the state of Kansas, I mean, he posed these questions back in 1912. On what avenue black people should take and how they should. And he, of course, he was a little bit more into social economics and capitalism. But so these conversations have been going on. And so I don't know if it's we don't know what to do or we don't want to do.
I think it's both. I think some of it is ignorance that's been passed down to generations. And when I say ignorance, it's just being unlearned on a situation. And not this.
Unlearned about what?
Unlearned about how capitalism really works.
Really, how we can be? Well, I got a question for you. How you don't understand that being enslaved? I don't understand how you don't understand that. The one person who should understand capitalism should be.
Well, you asked that question, right? No, you can't understand. I don't mean you understand capitalism because you were enslaved. Just because you were enslaved don't mean that you understand the economical system of finances, money, or political system. Just because you know.
Political is different. Political is different. Now, political, I agree, we don't know. We don't understand the political ways in which they use politics in order to gain and like lobbying and all of that. I do agree with that. But I think black people have been very, very creative on how to create our own strands of income using our culture, our religion, our athletic ability, and our musical talent. I mean, and we understood how to save. I mean, coming out of slavery in the Reconstruction period.
You have to know your.
I mean, but no, we did. We built 300.
but that's why I'm saying the politics of all of that kind of is one and the same. Now, we can build it as well, and still, it's two parts. See, when you're saying capitalism is not just money by itself. When you're saying capitalism, you combining them both, because it takes to understand the economical system, you have to understand the political system. Because some of the political things that are set up is going to affect how you can spend money. So if you don't understand how to invest your money, then you're going to be limited, and that's part of the political part.
Well, we did know how to invest our money. It was real easy. Before integration, you invested in black. I mean, you were able to capitalize on some things, but so yeah. So is it that historically black people don't know, or just post civil rights black people don't know? Because it appears to me, if you look at the statistics, I mean, we collecting pennies and not making any money from slavery all the way up into the civil rights movement. We built the churches. We built full buildings and structures and colleges and businesses. I mean, the insurance game is our game. Now, a lot of things that we did come up with got stolen. But half of what America is built on came out of the creativity and the hard work and the understanding and the infrastructure. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they came and got us. I mean, we understood economics. Even our enslaved ancestors understood economics. It's just that it seems post civil rights we don't understand. I mean, we had vibrant towns and villages and all black communities.
It's more so of the post, but I still think if we would have had the political and the economic piece together, some of it.
We did have the political, especially in. No, but you did have political. You had the political. But you did have the political. But we did have it as much. No, we lost it because we left the black neighborhood and went to the suburbs, and we sold grandma's house. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. That's post. But so it can't be. So wait a minute. It can't be that our. So while. You know, I don't think ignorance is I think that's an excuse. I don't think it's ignorance. I think that we turned away from Meemaw and Grandma, who was collecting those quarters and didn't put the money in the bank. I think our ancestors kind of understood. They put the money in the mattress. They collected the pennies. They socially put their money together, which is why we also built we built the institutions that we have today that we've dwindled, because what they built during slavery and after slavery, I mean, we had politicians, especially Texas, had complete, was very active in the political realm in Texas historically. Very active. You had senators and stuff like that long before some other people.
Yeah, I think it was to a certain extent, but I don't think each family passed that baton on all the way.
Okay, I'll take that.
And maybe
that's not ignorant.
That's not ignorant. They were just when I say they ignorant, I'm saying unlearned. So when I'm saying they was unlearned, like my dad, great man, loved him. He taught me a lot, but some of the things he was just unlearned in. It's not that he was, and I think we take ignorance as a negative connotation, but it's not. I'm saying ignorance is just being unlearned. He just didn't know. So maybe I'll turn.
How you don't know? Like that's what I'm saying. See, I'm a challenge black people on that. How you didn't know? And when I was in high school, we were the first kids to be bused. You know what I'm saying? So we knew the group of people who came out of the civil rights movement, that first group of us who were born and got to benefit from integration, we definitely are the best have received the best education of all of the other black people, even the ones coming behind us and the ones who came before us. We were probably the best, the most educated. President Obama is a perfect example. We definitely received all the education and all the resources as a collective than any other black in the history of our presence here in the United States, in my opinion. And then, so it's not ignorant. I don't think, I want to move. I mean, we don't have to play on the word anymore. You can move on, but I'm just saying, I just want to get out of that habit that black people don't have what they have because they didn't get the information. If you went to high school, everybody had to take business 101 in economics. I mean, you didn't learn it then. No, I'm not. When I say everybody, I'm not talking about. I'm not saying when I say everybody. Of course, that's just. I'm not talking about every single one because there's no complete all. You can't speak for everyone. But what I'm saying to you is that you do have in America. You have to attend school, and a part of the curriculum when we were coming up in school, 70s, 80s, 90s, you had.
Exactly.
But how did you not learn? You went to school.
Because
how you didn't learn?
They're going to economically. They're not going to teach you economics.
Yes, they did.
Yes,
they did. Well, I mean, that must be a Southern thing then. I could have sworn they taught it. When I went to school in Texas, they taught it.
It's part of economics, but it's not black economics. You're not.
Well, no, it doesn't have. There is no such thing as black economics. Economics doesn't have a color to it.
Okay, economics. If you say economics, a lot of people didn't learn entrepreneurship or owning a business. Most of the time, when we was taught economics, and we was taught about economic and being capitalism and all, it was taught from a perspective of getting a job, which is part of economics. It is, but it's taught in a way that it teaches you to work for somebody else. Even college students, you get a whole bunch of students that just say, "Man, I didn't know. I didn't know that most of the people that getting wealth or you trying to gain wealth, that you have to own your own business. Working for somebody else, you're not going to be able to gain that wealth because they just was unlearned in that situation. They didn't know." And it's people that got their PhDs. And they went through the system, they educated, everything, and they still didn't catch the grasp to have your own business to accumulate wealth. That's one of the ways. So they learned it after they got their PhD and after they bumped into somebody, talking to somebody, and then they start with. So, I mean, I don't look at it as a bad thing.
I disagree. I think that's a cop-out. Because white people don't, and it's that, white people don't learn, they don't tell white people to start their own business either, because there's millions of them every day who are going to work every single day. That's why Trump's in office right now, because they're pissed off. The jobs that they thought were available to them have been taken by foreigners. So the steel plants, they closed them. Most of white America is blue collar. Most white Americans go to school and get a job. They're not Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett and the rest of them, they're exceptions to the rule. Yeah, so, but once again, black economics, go ahead. I just think that's a cop-out, but go ahead.
No, I'm saying the wealthy, how many wealthy people you know that's wealthy that their kids are going to a job every day?
A lot.
I'm talking about wealthy.
A lot.
I don't know. I don't know none of them that's going to. And I got wealthy. Just say
the ones that I know that are wealthy. They sent every single last one of them to college. They just go to Harvard and Rice and stay. Okay, so they still send them to college. So why would the wealthy send them to college? So once again, going on black economics. Let's look on that. It's going on black capitalism. So once again, and this kind of leads into our conversation earlier when we sit down and talk. See, the difference between what white people do, if you're going to compare it just to white people, or what the people who you govern the conversation is, never once have I ever heard, since I was living in Texas, now I'm not here in New York, but definitely in Texas, never once at these planning sessions, brainstorming sessions, do any of the black people go out and get a professor in economics or a person who is in the, I mean, I know that now in Houston, I don't know about.
Yeah, we do that here in Fort Worth. That's why we was trying to bring Claude Anderson down here. But it's other financial advisors as well. You know, I got financial mentors. I got financial advisors. But, you know, you can't hear your phone drop out too.
Yeah, the machine's messing up. It keeps cutting in.
I'm not making an excuse for the whole. No,
but here we go. Moving on to wait a minute. Going on to black capitalism. How are you going to devise an economic development plan? So, like for instance, I'm here in New York. I'm a member of the Economic Development Corporation here in New York. We meet on a regular basis to have these conversations. You know, and of course, the reason why I got selected, and I'm on it because, like you said, they don't have any black people in it, but the people who are running it, they all have degrees in that. I don't see in our meetings the people. So that would be my first critique on black capitalism. I don't think you can really have a conversation if you're not doing it.
Yeah, you're talking about a mix. Now, when it's mixed, it's different because they're not going to have a black agenda. You're just going to have an economic.
But I'm just saying, have you been in all your entrepreneur meetings, even on this call? Do we have a black? Do we even know somebody who's even got an MBA or even has a who's actually who? Why there are plenty of black people who got MBAs.
I have had a meeting at my shop with people around. I did a financial seminar at my shop with financial advisors for people to come out.
Did they come? There you go. Bingo.
A couple of them came. Some people came.
Okay, a couple. But did they come?
They came. I can't settle in like I would want to see, like we was coming for R. Kelly concert or nothing. But it was a decent crowd. You know, my place didn't hold that many, but it was a decent crowd. We probably had about 20, 25 people that came. And so, but you got to think as well though. If we're going to talk about finances like that, even for those, because I was looking at the stats, even in Stop 6 area. No one with a PhD in business ever even had a PhD from South State. Do you hear me? Never.
What? Wait a minute. So back up. You mean tell me in the whole Stop 6 area, nobody's got a PhD ever?
That's the stats that they pulled. They showed me. This stat was in 2008, and as in 2008. Talking about bred from Stop 6, grew up in Stop 6, and went off to get a PhD.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why they was turning down the project as well, because economically it just didn't make sense. So,
right.
But we got to get back on. So I think it's multiple reasons economically why we don't do it. And I understand. I do. And you know I take self-responsibility, so I'm not trying to shift the blame, none of that. You know, callers that's calling in, it's not too late to share the call as well. You still can share the call. If you got a question, you got a comment, you can always press *6. You will go into queue. Also, go to our YouTube channel. That's in the link, under link as well, and subscribe. It's Vision Group 101. It's every Tuesday night at 7:30, so you can just click on that as well. And if you got a question or comment, if you don't want to say anything, then you just can put it in the comment section there, and we'll say exactly what you typed in there. So just press *6 as well if you got a question or a comment that you want to make. What was you saying?
Well, you know, of course, I'm starting the conversation to get the conversation riled up a little bit. So, like you said, so let me interject this. So, see, to me, I don't think that black people are unlearned. I think you made the cons. You even in your example. One, if we're not talking about music, partying, gossiping about Phaedra on the Housewives of Atlanta, whether or not she's going to be on the next episode. Black people in their free time spend more time on things outside of themselves that have nothing to do to build wealth and their legacy on the planet. And that is a culture that we have tolerated, and it's depicted on television and in our music and in everything that we do. You, like you said, if it was an R. Kelly concert, it'd have been packed. If you say you're going to talk to an MBA on economics, on how you can grow wealth and leave a legacy for your grandchildren, 20 people will show up. So I don't think that's the man's fault. If you see what I'm saying, I think that's something internal and a critique I have of the Black community is that we don't, on our free time, we do not spend the time networking with people who can advance us. And then the reason why, and I can specifically say this to myself now, even here, leaving the South and coming back to New York, one of the big things that I realize is that my circle's way too small. My circle, I don't, when I strategically go out to make situations.
What you're saying, though, Doctor, think about what you're saying. You think, if your circle like that, what do you think about some of the other people's circles?
Yeah, but that's just, I mean, but the reason. No, it's not.
They're not going to stand, they're not going to think that in their spare time because we're spenders.
Why?
We're consumers. We've been taught to be consumers. We've been taught to be consumers. When you get a little money, go and buy you something fly. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking about investing in no stock. You know, we had the insurance man to come buy our house, but we didn't have no investor to come buy our house. Only person we had buy our house is the newspaper, the pharmacy guy, and the insurance guy. That's all we had back in my day to come by my house. We didn't have nobody to come by our house and tell us, hey, this is what you can do. You know, stocks, if you invest $100 for the rest of for 5 years, this is what you're going to have for your kids. They didn't come by and do that in our hood. They didn't do it.
Right, so here's my second critique. Black folks are always waiting for somebody to come and bring them something instead of going and finding.
The phone cut out again. We can't hear your phone cut out again.
Why your machine keeps cutting out on me? The machine keeps interrupting the phone call. I don't know what's going on with that. So okay. So once again, so that's what I'm saying. Somebody don't walk up to you and give it to you. See, that's the thing. Didn't give you. Okay. So, but you do know how to read. You are responsible for your own time, and I mean, it's amazing to me that the Mexican or the Latino can come to these states from El Salvador and Honduras, don't understand our language, but they have enough common sense, just straight common sense, from coming from the Dominican Republic, coming from Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras, Brazil, and they have enough sense to go down there and take that old building that black people walk by every day in the black neighborhood. And this is why I don't understand why black people don't understand economics, and take it and turn it into a corner store, or the Vietnamese or the Chinese, or they take their skill sets and they do it. Black folks, every minority who comes to this country makes their wealth in the black community, but yet we say we ain't got no money. And then they don't put their pawn shops in them stores in the white neighborhood. They put them in our neighborhood. And they then go build their house and go live out in the suburbs with the white people. I mean, so black people see this every day. So you mean tell me that you can live in a black neighborhood all your time and it never dawns on you that something's wrong with this picture? No?
No, it don't. It don't.
All right. Well, then that's why.
That don't trigger to every. Yeah, that don't trigger and say I need to own a store because you're going into a grocery store.
So how do these other cultures figure that? How does the Mexican who lives in a hut? Okay, but they live in a hut in Mexico. They come to the United States and they have their own grocery store. You don't understand that you need to eat and get your own food? You don't understand that as a black person, something going on with your mindset that ain't down on you?
I don't think you listened to me. I said no.
Okay.
If they're not doing it, it's not. And why? One of the reasons is the agenda is totally different. They coming over here with an agenda to say, hey, this is what we need to make. This is what we need to make. This is how we understand it. This is what we need to do. Our agenda is not that all the time. Our agenda is a lot of times just in survival and having fun. So when we start talking about these things now, it's some psychological things personally I think that's going on as well. Because a lot of us now psychologically is not even thinking about wealth building like that. We don't look at wealth. We look at, my wealth is my kids are healthy. I don't need all these fancy cars. Now I'm saying some people. I don't need no Bentley. I don't need all that. If I just got my car, my mama loves me, my kids healthy, I'm wealthy. That's what and I done had people to tell me that. I don't need all that stuff y'all chasing, all that's cool. I don't need my education. I don't need to do it. I just need to have my relationship, my kids, they healthy. I'm cool. So I think psychologically we dealing with people that's like that about money. We don't understand money. And we haven't enjoyed the pleasures of money to that extent. But let me go to the phone line for those that
because I want to hear this. Why we ain't capitalizing as black folks? I just want to know.
Press *6 on your line so we can hear from you. And also, you can go to the YouTube channel if you got something that you want to say. I definitely want everybody to go and subscribe to it. It's in the link, either through your Facebook or send somebody else. Share the call. It's not too late. Continue to share the call with somebody there. You can share that live link as well. Let me go to the phone line. Press *6, and keep in mind we do have people that's on the line. So if I have to cut it off a little bit, then don't get mad at me. Here we go. Press *6 on your line. You got a question, comment?
No, I won't get mad at you. Hey, can you hear me? This Red Bull. Can you hear me?
Who was this? Red Bull.
This Red Bull. Yeah, this Red Bull. Yeah. No, I won't get mad at you. First, I have to actually give you your props. I love the way you use the word unlearned. Because I believe ignorance is when you know, but you still ignore. That's what ignorance means to me. Okay? So let me go to those that aren't so-called educated with the PhDs, and I would say that Dr. Woods is a product of Stop 6. I would say that, first of all, as far as the PhD is not coming out of Stop 6. Okay, well, anyway, the simple fact is this. Those that have gone off to college and got their PhDs or whatever, they have gone off and they rubbing elbows with the white boy, the white girl, the white supremacist, but yet and still they refuse to acknowledge that white supremacy is what's keeping our people. One of the main things that's keeping our people from flourishing. Another thing is, once again, Brother Derek,
so you don't think that once the educated people get what they get, they don't give back, and so that you feel that that's a hindrance.
Well, what I'm saying is, they get theirs, and they can't see. The smoke and mirrors is there. They went for the education. The smoke and mirrors is there, and I'm just going to say this: the education that the preacher, the lawyer, the psychologist, those education that they go and get from the white boy, they can only use that education in the black neighborhood. That's one thing. But they give their allegiance.
We're talking about capitalism, though. We're talking about money.
I know we're talking about capitalism.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm saying when you talk about capitalism, they say anybody. Hold on, I ain't finished. I got you. I ain't gonna cut you off.
Go ahead.
You got it.
Yeah.
if you're talking about capitalism and making money, they say anybody with an education, even from a high school diploma, you get a high school diploma, you can make $25,000 more. If you get your bachelor's, you can make $50,000 more. Being a person that don't have it.
That's one person out of a whole band. That's Michael Jackson out of the Jackson 5. That's one person. Okay. No, I see, I know, and I understand that. Huh?
Yeah, I'm saying now these are the stats saying that if you get an education, then you're prone to make more money because now you can use what you have as far as in capitalism. Because you want to understand because of it.
But once again, you are also prone to spending more money because you get a bigger car, you get a bigger home, you get a bigger insurance policy, you get bigger bills, you get bigger rings, you get bigger clothes. You understand? So that $25,000 is just expand what you already have. Just make it bigger. In other words, it's just like soaking that dollar in some water. It ain't going to do nothing but expand like bread. You know, sort of speaking. It's still the same dollar. It just expand like bread.
But see, I think you have a different standpoint as well, too, because money is not, like, you're not really into wealth like that. You're more into building a village, right?
Well, yes. I see what wealth is to me. Let's say success. Success to me is doing what's needed to free your time up so that you can use your time to volunteer for the village. That's success to me. As far as having money, you know, my mother always say, I don't care how much money you have in this world, you're going to always end up in one room. There may be that room where you have your hospital bed in the hospital. There may be that room where you in a retirement center, just one room. So as far as a big house, big home, all of that stuff, I'll just know that I'm going to end up in one room. Why not get comfortable with that? First of all, that's just the way I feel. As far as our economic, you understand, we have to know that we have been programmed. You use the word, we are consumers, okay? Now, the word consumer comes out of the hospital district. It's sort of like when somebody is sick, then they start going into convulsions and they can't breathe. They will holler out, well, he's consuming, okay? So now the air supply has been cut off. You understand? The supply has been cut off, basically. But what I want to say is, yes, we are big consumers because even in our language, you know, when you get ready to hang up the phone, what do you tell the person on the other line? Bye. Oh, I made it to the store. Okay, bye. You understand? Oh, I'm gonna go to the club and I'm gonna buy up the bar. See, we got buy in our vocabulary. That's the last thought when I, you know, get ready to go to bed and I'm talking to my lady or whatever. First thing I say is, the last thing I say is bye. So I lay down with bye on my mind. You know, when you at home, your mother and your daddy, they got the insurance man to come by to get the money. So we have been psychologically intoxicated. I call us psychoholics.
Okay, so here we go.
With consumerism.
Okay, but that's not okay. So there is, so it's in that spot. So this is what I'm saying. Where I think if we had broader conversations. So why are we trying to fit in the box of a capitalist society? So if we're buyers, see, this is what Black people we're so convinced about what the white man's doing. We're not even paying attention to the things that matter within our own community and what we do. So if we're buyers, we ought to be, as my great grandfather would say, socioeconomics. So we also know that in a capitalist society, if you're the buyer, you have power. So, for instance, if we all collectively can go out and buy Jordans, or we go out and buy Tommy Hilfiger, or we go out and we can actually pool our money together. Just like, for instance, if we decide we're not going to drink Coca-Cola no more, or Hennessy, or Cristal, their business drops. You don't want something on the radio? You can use your buying power as power. So instead, but we haven't sat down and figured out how to use our buying power to assist us in a capitalist society, or even to overthrow capitalism.
Why?
Because you won't sit down. Because you won't. Because why you think we won't? Because we don't. It's not an interest. As a community, like the caller said, when you got your extra $50,000 from going to school or whatever, instead of you putting $5 back like your meemaw did and your grandmama did when she was cleaning them white folks' houses and putting that change back in, you had to prove something. So you sold your grandmama's house because you didn't like that house, you didn't want to fix that up, and you went and moved in over to another side so that you could feel like you made it. There is something about oppression that makes you want to, in the black community, want to prove with things that you are American and that you're equal to the man, or that you overcame or whatever. Instead, in that trickery, like the caller said, that misconception or that ignoring that's not real, and ignoring the own wealth in your own community and the own resources in your own community is the reason why they ain't got. In my opinion, yes, the white man has racism. Yes, there's a systematic process, but our ancestors showed us that we can build vibrant towns, villages, and cities in spite of that. What's changed is that post-civil rights movement, you didn't want to be at Meemaw's house anymore. You didn't want to live in Stop 6. You wasn't proud of Stop 6. You talked about the black people that you were neighbors with, and you despised them so much so that you couldn't do anything till you got out there.
Yeah, and I agree to a certain extent. Of course you want to move out. You want to move. If you see your...
Why? That's stupid.
That ain't stupid. That's human.
That is stupid. And when I say that's stupid, meaning not the person stupid, the concept is stupid. You can't. It's just like anything else. Wherever you find your behind, your mind puts you there. You can't. It's illogical for you to think that you can
own a store. You can own a grocery store.
The Asian owns the store in the hood with all that shooting, and he's filthy rich. He ain't even bothering it.
But they don't live there.
Well, it doesn't matter. Their business is there. No. But wait. Okay, well, where you live, but excuse me, but here's the difference. When black people leave, it's just interesting to me. Black people are busting their butt to get out of the black neighborhood, and every other race is busting their butt to get into the black neighborhood. So something's wrong there. Something's wrong there.
They are not getting it. They are not. They getting it. Okay, you're right. They are getting in it, but they getting in it in a different economical benefit. That's why I'm talking.
Yeah, because we didn't want it. We didn't want it. We didn't want it.
No, it's not that we didn't want it. It's not that we didn't want
it.
Yeah, you
did.
We didn't understand capitalism. If we understood capitalism, we could have bought that grocery store. We didn't.
We lost it. No.
I can't speak for everybody. I didn't understand capitalism because when I had the money to do anything I wanted to do, and I could have went and just bought a grocery store, I didn't think about buying no grocery store.
That's because you weren't in here. Okay, wait, Derek. Wait, stop right there. Hold on. The reason why, excuse me, but here's my point. The reason why you didn't think about it is because you weren't hanging around people who thought about that. See, if you would have been in the circle just like now, now your base is bigger. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You won't leave your comfort zone.
But that's what I just told you. I didn't see that. If I didn't see nobody having that, it's hard to.
No, you saw it.
I understand self-responsibility. So I ain't talking about nobody else. I'm talking about me personally. I take full responsibility because I didn't grasp that concept. When I was out doing my thing, I didn't grasp that concept. Man, I went straight to Sublette when it was hot over here in Arlington. I was 19 years old, moved over there, and got a house. I wasn't thinking about buying no freaking store. You not thinking?
Well, I guess the dope dealer throws me. I guess the dope dealer throws a monkey wrench in your concept, because the dope dealer, it's interesting to me. So I don't understand how we didn't see it, because the dope dealer, just, I mean, if we talking about just in your neighbor. Once again, and I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it to you again. Once again, we don't pay attention to the people in our communities, and we also write off people who were previously incarcerated, and a lot of geniuses are previously incarcerated individuals. Because so I just want to say, I don't understand how I just don't understand. I'm just not going to accept the concept that you didn't see it. You, like you said, you take full responsibility. It was there. You just weren't prepared. You weren't, okay, so you're saying you didn't have a support base, right? You didn't have a support base around you, nor were you looking for one.
No, I didn't have it, and nor was I looking for it. I didn't have nobody to come to me and say, hey, man, look, this is what you're doing. This is how you feel to your money. This is how you clean your money up, man. This is what you need to do. Now, of course, some people had some little clubs, little hood clubs, and the Future and all of that stuff.
Billy Ray Maddox.
Yeah,
that nigga was a genius. Excuse my words, but that was a genius.
He was.
He was a genius.
He did his thing.
Okay.
But you see where he ended up at? That's economic.
But no, the reason why he ended up there is because of them young kids and cell phones. But what I'm saying to you, so it's not that you didn't see it. Because let me just say, hold on, if we just take the white man out of the picture,
that was after my age. That was Billy Ray. Yeah, Billy Ray he was in a different.
Yeah, Billy Ray didn't go to jail. Billy Ray didn't go to jail until his grandson was running his mouth on the phone. But anyway, but what I'm saying to you, when I came to Fort Worth, Texas. Let me just say this: when I came to Fort Worth, Texas, the people who, to me, I'm kind of confused about that a little bit, because you know what I mean? Because to me, Texas blacks have a really good understanding of working a full job and getting a side hustle. That was one of the things I admire about Texas blacks.
Wrong. Now, you know, with me, man, $1 million studio in the hood.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying? So once I grabbed the concept of it, I said, okay, yeah, I can do this or do that. So I'm not talking from somebody that didn't grab the concept. I'm just saying before I grabbed the concept. So my thing now is to let people understand the economical piece and see how capitalism really works. They don't understand the buy high and sell low. Even if you do it in an illegal way, you don't catch that you can do this for yourself. It don't trigger that you going to City Trends every day and you cutting up your shirt and you changing the style of that shirt, that you can do that same thing and sell your own shirt. It don't trigger like that. So,
because we as a community no longer have those conversations. Only thing that we're talking about is what Phaedra did on the Housewives of Atlanta or hip hop or other thing. See, that's what I'm saying. We're all worried about the Scandal in the Empire episode instead of trying to sit down and have a conversation with other people, and then you won't expand your circle. You won't, because the black community is anti-intellectual. And so going back to the caller's call about people who have PhDs or like Dr. Woods and the whole 9 yards, once we get there, even if we came back and told you you could do this, you're so pissed off that we got a PhD, you don't even want to listen to what the heck I'm saying. You think she thinks she know it all. This is the thing that kills me. This is the only thing that kills me about black people. When I look at the Asian community or Latino community, I ain't even gonna talk about white people. I'm just gonna talk about the Asian community. They embrace the child who went off to college and got some experience and brought it back to the family so that the family could make better decisions. In the black community, if you leave the hood and go out and stretch out and go and like you said, get the $1 million deal, you usually end up losing the people that you went to school with. You end up losing the people that you did. And then, that's why, to me, this is why we say black capitalism, why it doesn't work, is because the people who want more in life, in the black community, if you reach your arm out to want something more in life, it usually costs you your family and all your friends. Now you're out here all by yourself. and it takes a while for you to find another black person who's willing to share information with you. Now, I will critique the educational community a little bit. We're not really, sometimes we're not as forthcoming with the information.
Y'all the main problem.
Well, no, let me say, okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
why I say that. The educational people is the main, because y'all understand. If y'all understand and just don't give back and don't come back, I critique y'all, and I say y'all because I don't have a PhD, but I'm still in the system. But I want so just so the callers will know, because when some people when they get the money, they don't come back and say, "Hey, let me teach y'all." Don't you know it's a lot of people when you got a PhD, you're giving back because you'll get on a call like this and have people to call. But don't you know people with education, man, they got their nose up. They not worried about all that. They not trying to give back like that. They done got caught up in the system and got their little house and they cool. And they little kids, they gone. They don't give back nor because they would understand capitalism. They understand economics. They understand the political system. So it's the people that really understand the job to give back. Man, people in the hood don't understand accumulating wealth. Really? Really?
They don't?
Wealth? No.
Shoot, let me tell you why. Let me be the first one to say I don't see why they don't understand accumulating wealth, because when I get my back when I was living in Fort Worth, the hood was the first place I went, because I knew at the beauty shop I was gonna get all the things I really couldn't afford. What? What do you mean, the hood doesn't understand accumulating wealth?
Listen to what I'm saying.
What?
If we understood, like, it don't trigger to say, okay, man, let's put our money together and let's own this beauty shop. Let's get our own beauty shop.
They don't?
How many black-owned beauty?
A lot. Let me tell you, a lot of them stripper girls and a lot of them baby. Hold on. Let's just keep it real. We're gonna have this real conversation. What the problem is, to me, and I agree with you a little bit on this little thing to me going on, how do you capitalize, right? So I do believe that the people in the hood have a better understanding of it. The problem is, it's the Booker T. Washington and W.B. Du Bois. I think if you live in the hood, you understand how to do labor jobs. You know how to use your body and all the resources that you have to make $1. You do and how to accumulate nice things in spite of the fact that you don't have a lot of education or a lot of opportunity and you get your side hustle on. The problem is, like you said, is that I don't get to meet. Well, no, I don't. See, the problem is I don't get to meet the girl who's running her booth in the hood who wants something more. Me and her and you are not meeting together. So we can't devise a plan in order to capitalize on the economics, the buying power of our community. So like there was a report that was out.
You know why? Because the people with the education and they done got the money and they going over there in North Park to get their hair done. They don't even take the time after come talk to the people that's really in the neighborhood like that to explain the money. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bridge the gap. That's one of the reasons why I have all kind of people on the call. You know, I have young people on the call. I have older people that got the PhD, people that scholars in the streets. I have all kind of people on the call. So to bridge the gap. So that's why I'm trying to bridge the gap like that, so somebody can say, oh, okay, economically, this is what we need to do. So that's part of it, because I don't feel like some of them do. Some of them, I know they just make excuses, but a lot of them just don't have that piece. Now, I got enough.
Just on what?
They don't have that to go and connect with somebody. Like with me, people told me I didn't have enough money to have a financial advisor. I said I have to have a financial advisor and a financial mentor. What you mean? I don't care what he charged me. I gotta have him because he understands economically how this stuff works. But I have to be able to give to these young kids that even if it's $10, man, to give somebody to let them pour into you to teach you how this money system works. You have to know that. So you can't afford not to do it. You see what I'm saying? So people would think they can't afford it, but you can't afford not to. Everybody that don't have a financial mentor, I know you don't. You're not working at your full potential. You can't.
Right. Because so I would say, okay, so
you're only dealing within. You see what I'm saying? You only, and I know we great, and we take that concept as all I need is myself, and that's cool. And if yourself is doing it for you and you're happy, that's cool. With me, I realize that I might as well use the people that, that's around me. We need to have.
All right, so here we go. So historically black colleges, or let me just say Tuskegee, for example, which was built by Booker T. Washington. Technically, with our historical black college, so let's get with that, since we talk about educated. So our historical black colleges, this is why it should be and used to teach these particular skill sets to black kids who went to historical black college. So Tuskegee, for example, was to, actually stress training, you know what I'm saying? Not only in getting your skill set up, but also let's forget the white man's schools, just our historical black colleges. So for us to say that black people are unlearned or ignorant about black capitalism is a critique on historical black colleges. Right? So, because they are teaching economics, they are teaching business at historical black colleges, and they are teaching you the black perspective, coming from a black perspective, and you are in there with black teachers and black PhDs and your black schools. So, if we're going to talk about why we not making it in black capitalism, you need to have the conversation. It ain't the pro-white, as we call them, PWIs, the poor, predominantly white institutions that are the problem. It's historical black colleges that are falling off. One, right? And then those kids evidently ain't coming home. So, you always want to say, like, because I went to Rice and I went to TCU, that's what it is. Those usually aren't, there are way more of them than there are of the ones going to predominantly white institutions. And in the predominantly white institution, I know what the struggle is because I've been disenfranchised within the predominantly white institution. Right? So we've been in the struggle. So we trying to, 9 times out of 10, we trying to come back and say, hey, look, this is what I learned. But y'all don't want to hear it from us because we went to a predominantly white institution. Then so to me, your historical black colleges have failed the black community.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I take both responsibility. I think it's even when it comes back, because I haven't had a lot of people that also say, well, man, I understand economically, let me teach this, and they try to give back and people don't want to hear, so I think we all have that as well.
So that ain't the white man's fault.
We ain't said nothing about no white man.
No, I know, I'm just making it clear because I know a lot of our calls, I'm going on the majority of our Red Bull, Blue, all that thing. Every time the conversation comes up, it's about oppression. It's about what happened to us and what the white supremacy and all that. This ain't got nothing to do with that because we got historical black colleges that are ran by black people. So something happened.
Keep in mind. Hold on. Keep in mind that post-traumatic slave syndrome is real.
Whatever.
Now, that is a
well, then what white folks got? What white folks? Well, white folks must have post-traumatic shit because white folks have been in 4,000 years.
It's something
this straight. And I'm gonna say this again. Let's do the math. If everybody was in prison was black, that'd be 2 million people. If everybody who was on welfare, I'll even give you all the way up to 10 million. Let's just say that's 12 million out of 40 million. So that's 28 million of us that ain't on welfare and ain't been incarcerated. And if they had a baby out of wedlock, they can afford it. So you mean to tell me 28 million black people can't figure out capitalism?
Or spiritual. We're going to talk about being spiritual. We're going to talk about being, oh, man, you know that's real. But let me go to the phone line. We're not
go to the phone lines, because I don't understand that. There's 28 million of us doing the right thing. 28 million. If we just say 28 million of us are doing the right thing.
This is one of the key. I guarantee you, if I take a poll right now and said, on the phone call, who has a financial mentor that's going to teach you economically, teach you what to do with your money, be there with you, I guarantee you we're not focusing on that. We're not. But I guarantee you, if you ask them if you got a boss, if you work for somebody, they're going to say, yeah, I work for somebody. We don't have somebody like that, and because we're not. But let me go to the phone line. Press star 6 if y'all got a question, got a comment.
Well, that ain't the white man's fault. That's all I'm saying.
It's part of it. But okay.
And slavery ain't to blame for that either.
Nor white supremacy. This is why we're in the predicament that we are right now. Because we refuse to see the dichotomy, the way that it's all set up for black people to never have nothing. It is economically set up that way.
I can't believe
we do have things. So we do have things.
Now watch this. Now watch this. Now watch this.
You're telling me.
Look,
you're telling me that the creator of all things can't teach us. Man, we got Yoruba, we got spirituality in the doggone. Man, we need to quit. If we got all this stuff,
just check out.
Economically,
yeah, let's check out. If white supremacy is it, we need to leave the planet. We need to go to Mars.
I don't believe it ain't no hope, man.
I don't believe in that either. I don't believe that.
We got a creator, man.
Okay.
We gotta say hope somewhere. What we gonna hope in?
Let me first. We don't have to. First, we gotta fix the mind. We gotta fix the minds of these people. First, we gotta fix the minds of the ignorant people that's ignoring the fact that things has been set up on color. How about that?
No, I'm black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, actually, a nice color, actually.
You refuse to give those that has the blame. Like I say, the political form, the way it's set up, politically, the way that it's set up, we as a people, we cannot navigate on their paradigm.
I'm not giving them shit.
So tell me something, Eric.
He enslaved us. That's cool. But after that, I can't.
He was enslaved himself.
I gotta look for.
Yeah, ain't no genius.
I can't keep wilding. And other than that, capitalism. We'll never understand this.
He was.
So tell me something, Dave.
I got. Okay,
he was enslaved himself. He was enslaved himself. So I don't give him no credit for that.
Let me ask me the question.
Let me ask you a question. If me and you went and bought a corner store together, me and you, we went in and bought a corner store from one of those Iranians, okay? Do you not even have an idea that the products that we go and buy wholesale will go up? We cannot purchase those products for the same price that we purchased them for? That's one thing. And another thing is, do you not believe...
That's not true. That's not true.
Come on, baby. You don't know. You haven't been there. Watch this.
Yes, I have. Okay. Yes, I have. Because most of those Arabs and them Asians were on probation right there on Miller. So let me just tell you what they did, since they think they got such a genius. You know what they did? The reason why they're on paper for DHS fraud, that they don't ever report that to you, is because they went and filed for welfare that they keep saying that black people are on, and they took those food stamps and went up to Sam's and took their food stamps and bought, or went up to Miss Barrett's bread and bought day-old bread with their food stamps and came back in that store, slapped some paint on it, and sold it to you for $7. They ain't get no grant. They were all on probation right there on Miller Ave. Yeah, what you mean? I had a caseload of 400 people. What you talking about?
The white supremacy
that's what they did. But that's the thing. But this is the thing. Of course, white supremacy kept that out of the news. Of course, white supremacy. Just like, for instance, living up here in the north, 50 in my little town right here, 50% of the white people, 50% of my town are poverty or below poverty. One of the largest people on welfare are Hasidic Jews. Everybody thinks Jews got a whole bunch of money. Come to New York. Not true. So that's what I'm saying. So some of these things that you're basing which is one of the reasons why black people are in the problem that they have, you're basing them on alternative facts. Most of the Asians on my caseload were on there for Department of Human Services fraud. Instead of taking their food stamps and trying to sell it to their homeboys so they can get out to the club and get enough suit and stand out there peddling their Lone Star cards like black folks do, they took that money, sacrificed on not eating so much, and went out ahead and went to that Jew. Let me tell you how it happened. In Fort Worth, right there in the hood. What them Asians did is they went to the Jew who owns all of those ran down, shady, dilapidated buildings in the hood, and went to him and said, this is how much money I can give you per month. Well, of course, the Jew took it because the building's dilapidated, and it paid for the taxes. So then he slapped some white, he went down there to Home Depot and got some white paint, or he had his Mexican friend steal some paint off the construction, and actually brought over there, paid that Mexican barely nothing to slap that white paint on, then went to all the advertisers and said, give me those posters, your Colt 45, all your little posters, and they plastered posters of all the items that black folks like to buy: liquor, cigarettes, candy, chips, and soda. They ain't getting no loan. Besides for welfare.
Can I ask another question?
And they all living in one house, 5 of them in a room.
We have to talk a book, because I was thinking about a book that I had read. It's been a long time ago. It's by Theodore Cross. It's actually talking about black capitalism, the struggle for business in the ghetto, the strategy. I think it was the strategy of it, but it's black capitalism. It's the strategy for business in the ghetto. It was a good book, Theodore Cross. That everybody ought to read. Did you have one, Dr. Matthews?
Yeah, I think you should read Black Labor, White Wealth. It was written in 1941. So, yeah. And, well, there's another one. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, by Carl Anderson. If you, like you said, if everybody's unlearned or doesn't have it, start with Black Labor, White Wealth by Carl Anderson. I think that'll get you started.
Yeah, and for those that are on the calls, I guess we was hitting the spot. They were just really just listening. We want y'all to continue to share the call. I want to bring it in, so I think I'm going to still deal with this economical piece because I want us to really start thinking. At least somebody on the line now can say, hey, maybe this triggered me to do this. Maybe it triggered me to do this. Because bottom line, you have to start somewhere. And I always say self-reflection. I'm a person that look within myself and say, I need to come up with a solution. I'm what I have. I got to come up with a solution. I got to make this thing good. I understand what we up against. At the same time, I don't think that no race of people have a say-all. I think if we apply the principles that we need to apply, we can all overcome. It's going to be tough, but I think we can do it. Did you want to say something before we close out?
Yeah.
Real quick?
And of course, my role is to kind of excite the little conversation. So I took that particular approach just to throw that stuff out there. But I do believe that my suggestion for, if we're going to talk about black capitalism, is that, one, you need to look in your own circles. If you're the smartest person in your circle, then you probably, that's a problem. You need to surround yourself around people who know more than you. so that when you sit down with them, you can have conversations that allow you to expand your awareness of all the possibilities that there are on the planet. Get out of your comfort zone and engage with people who are doing things differently from you. And so if there is an Arab that you know that owns 5 corner stores, why aren't you interacting with him? He's in your neighborhood. If the Asian is selling you at the corner store, or the Indian person is at the, or other race people who, mind you, even though they didn't come here as slaves originally, well, some of them did back in the day. But anyway, but forgetting the slavery part, if we look at it right now, these people packed up and left poverty. India, Mexico, all these people left poverty in restricted places to come to America, and quickly, out of necessity, they figured out how to grow in this particular country. And so get to know them. If all your friends are just black, you ain't got to get with the white man, but knowing Asian, knowing Latino, expand your base. And then I think if you expand your base, you'll get exposed to different things, and you'll get exposed to different people who can help you get to where you're going. And then and that would be my, and if we're going to continue this conversation, that's the angle that I'm actually pushing. Look at yourself. And I'm going back what Derek said. Do some self-reflection. Who do you know somebody right now who can cut you a check for $15,000? Do you know somebody who can cut you a check for $1,500 because you have a great idea, or you having a business idea? Have you even asked? Do you even know somebody who can help you? Do you know somebody who could take you to the next level? And if you don't, it's not the white man's fault that you don't know other black people and other people of color, or other people, period, that can help you get economic wealth in America. That ain't the white that ain't, because that's I just refuse to believe that, and you know that you can blame it on white folks for that. And as always, if you don't like people, you're not an outgoing person, you're introvert, then pick up a book.
Yeah.
Turn Empire off and pick up a book.
She said turn Empire off. Definitely, you could set the culture of your home. Everybody, you can set the culture of your home. So if you want to set the culture of your home and say y'all save $10 a month, everybody in your family saving $100 a month to get this particular business, y'all can do that. You set the culture. You set the pace in your home. There's certain things now that you can do. You can say y'all can put a garden in your backyard. You can do all this stuff economically. You can raise your son, your daughter up politically. You can say, hey, this is what I want you to do if that's what you want to do. So get involved in that system, understand the system. I definitely want to continue this going, so we're going to take the angle of what do we do now to, and even kind of look through some of the things that Claude Anderson was saying as far as to build this wealth up. So thank everyone for calling in. We do it every Tuesday at 7:30, also Saturday at 11 o'clock. Remember to continue to think progressively. Share the call. Let me know what you think. Talk to you later. Thank you, Dr. Matthews.
Peace.